Will be given by Pastor William Parsons from Redeemer Lutheran Church. And please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray, shall we? In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, amen. Heavenly Father, guardian and keeper of your people, watch over those who are entrusted to the administration of the Fairhope government. Make them pure and honest. Keep them from temptation and bribery, from favoritism or prejudice, from indolence or neglect of duty. Create in them an earnest desire to faithfully serve, attend their efforts that their work may not suffer from mediocrity. Permit them to experience the joys of noble service completed for a grateful people. Encourage cooperation from those who are served and from those who help to serve. Use every willing service and every effort put forth for good government. Bless and rule your people, and that your will may be accomplished among them. Promoted all things for the good of the kingdom of your Son, in whose name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Parsons. We appreciate it. First item on tonight's agenda is to approve the minutes of the regular City Council meeting, the work session, and the agenda meetings which were held on the 23rd of January. Do you have any additions, deletions, or changes to these minutes? Anyone? Okay, hearing none, I'll hear a motion to approve these minutes.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of those three meetings. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Okay, minutes are approved. Mayor Wilson, your report.
Thank you. My first town hall meeting is this Thursday at the library, 6 o'clock, and I'll be talking about the first 90 days that I thought it was like the first 8 months. I didn't realize it's only been 90 days, but it's the first 90 days. And what we are looking ahead, it's really lots of good stuff. I wanted to mention that we are having a team building retreat for all the city supervisors and their assistants on March 20th, and I'm really looking forward to that. I should have a review, and that we will talk about the budget and do the budget presentation within the next couple of weeks. I'm going out of town, so we might have to have a special meeting because it will be pretty lengthy, but we are, the light is at the end of the tunnel, and so I'm looking forward to it. I wanted to give a proclamation for Pat Lee, and I'm going to come down for that. I wanted to first tell you that I'm going to post a recent article on Pat Lee from AL.com on my Facebook, because there's not enough time for me to tell you all the wonderful things that she has done in her life. And I do get a little choked up when I talk about it, but she created Children of the World, celebrating its 20th anniversary recently. And she has adopted out over 2,000, or right around 2,000 kids internationally. And she's dedicated her life to the service, and I just can't say enough about it. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. And so I have a proclamation, and I am supposed to read all of it. Bear with me, but it's all good. Children of the World 20th Anniversary. Whereas Children of the World believes the birthright of every child is to be in a loving and nurturing home. Whereas Children of the World is licensed by the state of Alabama and serves all 50 of the United States as a full-service adoption agency, placing children domestically and internationally with relief programs in India, Mexico, and China. Whereas Children of the World provides relief services through food, clothing, medicine, toys, and facility renovations for orphans who will never experience a family. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Karin Wilson, Mayor of the City of Fairhope, do hereby proclaim Saturday, February 4th, on its 20th anniversary, Children of the World Day, with its Chinese New Year parade that will be annually. I'm going to give this. Thank you for all you do. Thanks.
Mayor Wilson, anything else?
Oh, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on tonight's agenda is public participation pertaining to agenda items only. If you would like to come speak on behalf of items 6 through 20, and I'm not mentioning 5 because 5 is a separate, you'll have your opportunity to speak during that public hearing on item 5. So items 6 through 20, please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Ron Allen. I live at 6612 Willow Bridge Drive in Fairhope. And all I want to do is quickly mention items 12 and 13, and hope when they come up that on item 12 you explain what's the estimated number of cubic yards going to be dredged. And on the second one, on the number 13, I hope you will mention what repairs to the library structure are we talking about. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Is there anyone else? Items 6 through 20. Seeing no one, I will close public participation for agenda items and move to council comments. Councilman Robinson?
Yes, sir. I'd like to recognize the tree committee in the city for putting on Arbor Day this past Saturday. We've heard it was a great event. I've seen a lot of pictures. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend. But it's always well done, and I'm sure it was this time. And I'd just like to recognize again the tree committee in the city for doing a great job in putting this together.
And I guess for me, I would like to thank the tree committee. Merchants and Marine Bank, where I work for my day job, we received an award for our renovation of a historic building in downtown Fairhope, and we did put a lot of love and effort into getting that project right, and it felt good to be recognized for that, so we appreciate that. Secondly, I just want to mention Mardi Gras kicks off in Fairhope this weekend, so come out and enjoy the festivities. Come watch the KOER parade, and that afternoon, come support the Mystic Mutts of Revelry, which is for the benefit for the Haven, which is Fairhope's no-kill animal shelter.
That's it. Thank you. Councilman Brown?
Thank you, Council President. Like Jimmy said, Mardi Gras is kicking off. I want to wish everybody a happy and safe Mardi Gras. I want to thank Tom with the rec department and all his people for their assistance out at Manly getting it ready for the soccer season. Sherry Sullivan as well. And I do have a little note I want to read, Council President. I want to address recent online blogs and other issues people have spoken to me about in recent weeks. Several of our councilmen have been accused of being privy to information because positions they are in. Just because they are privy does not mean they've shared this information or that they are corrupt. When I see the comments on social media asking what other council members' positions are on these issues, my first thought is, why am I wasting time on social media? The second is, I'm not going to get in a debate on social media for several reasons, the main being perspective. You can't tell whether someone's angry, whether they're asking a serious question, or whether they're just trying to get people roused up. Call me. My phone number is available, and like the commercial, I will personally take your phone call. As I mentioned campaigning, I'm going to make my decisions based on what is best for the Fairhope city the city of Fairhope as a whole. That means listening to those who don't show up voicing their opinions in public, some who are third or fourth generation Fairhopians. Like most of you know, I grew up in Fairhope, and I've been here 33 years, minus some military time and time at Auburn. It's a matter of time before I'll be labeled a good old boy. By the nature of living here for over 3 decades, I've crossed many paths with people, both socially and through business. I will recommend their companies. I will vote for them. Does that mean I'm corrupt because I recommend somebody I trust? As a city leaders, we must hold everyone accountable and make sure the correct process is followed in every circumstance. It's also our job to move the city forward in a positive direction. You can be part of the problem or you can be part of the solution. That's your choice. But me personally, I look forward to moving forward, not backwards, and I will pray on every decision I make. In closing, I want to say myself, along with the other 4 council members and Mayor Wilson, were elected to serve all of Fairhope. If you agree with what is being done in our town, I encourage you to let us know. If you don't, let us know. Call me. Don't ask me on social media because I won't take that phone call. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Brown. Councilman Boone?
Yeah, I'd like to bring up the chocolate and champagne event at the library because we did attend and it was very, very nice. And I would highly recommend next year everybody come out and see what a wonderful facility that we do have. And I think my wife got a little over anxious on some of the bidding, so I believe I do owe the library some money. As soon as they contact me, I will certainly write the check. But it goes for a great cause. Thank you.
Yeah, I got your bid number as well, Councilman Boone. I might have used it a few times, so it might be a little higher tab than you think. Anyway, I'm just kidding about that now. Okay, yeah. The disadvantage of going last is that I didn't get to mention Arbor Day or the chocolate and champagne party at the library, but I did have the privilege of attending both of those, and great job to the tree committee and all the master gardeners and all the volunteers, and Jennifer, Paige, Sherry that helped out, and anybody else. Sherry Lee was there. I'm probably missing some people, but those of you, Skip, you were there. All of those that were at the Arbor Day celebration, that's always a great event. I'd encourage everybody to attend that as you are able. And then also the chocolate and champagne party at the library was, I see Tamara Dean out there. I'm not exactly sure how many people you had. Several hundred, I would estimate 300, 400, 500 people maybe there for just a great event. I'll echo Councilman Boone's comments, is that it was a lovely event. It was well done, and I hope that you raised a lot of money. I haven't heard any numbers, so I hope that went well for you. So a busy time in Fairhope as it looks like we're approaching summer today, but a lot going on. I encourage people to go out and enjoy the city that we have, and be sure to walk the streets and walk from one end of town to the other, enjoy the lights, and just take a deep breath and enjoy what we have in this beautiful city. With that, I'll close council comments and move into agenda item 5, which is a public hearing. This is to amend zoning ordinance number 1253 at the request to rezone the property of Clip Pittman from the residential agriculture district to an R2 medium density single family residential district. This property is generally located at 19940 County Road 13, Fairhope, Alabama. I also want to note that Councilman Brown is recusing himself from any discussion of this ordinance and will not be participating in any votes pertaining to this ordinance. Mr. Dias?
Thank you very much. As you said, this is located on County Road 13. The request is from RA to R2. RA is a residential agricultural district. R2 is a medium-density, single-family district, 12.51 acres. Mr. Pittman has said he wishes to future the phases of Fox Hollow subdivision, so the purpose of this would be for a subdivision. The property on the north is R6, which is the mobile home park district. Property to the south and west is R2 and unzoned in Baldwin County, and to the east is R2. This did appear before the Planning and Zoning Commission on November 10th, and it was recommended unanimously for approval. Staff concurs with that recommendation. Yes, any questions?
Questions, council members, before we open the public hearing? Okay. I'll open the public hearing. If you would like to speak to this zoning ordinance, please come forward and state your name and address for the record. Let me back up here. That's why I have the clerk up here sometimes. Would somebody like to introduce the ordinance? Basically, just say you'll introduce the ordinance.
Yeah, I'll introduce ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Conyers. I always skip that part. Now we'll open up the public hearing. Anyone at all? Okay. Would the owner of the property wish to speak? Okay, seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. Council members, we typically let this lay over until the next council meeting. Unless you know of some pressing reason that this should be voted on tonight, I would suggest we let it lay over to the next meeting. If you know of a pressing reason, you certainly have the right to ask for a suspension of the rules and a vote for immediate consideration. Okay. Hearing no motion for suspension of the rules, we will lay this over for until the next meeting. I don't think it's quite 2 weeks, but that will be February the 23rd. Item number 6 is a resolution that Mayor Karin Wilson is hereby authorized to approve Amendment Number 1 to the contract for professional engineering services for RFQ number PS001-17 for the Fly Creek Marina Seawall improvements with FMS Engineering Services at a cost of the amendment not to exceed $3,800. Somebody like to entertain a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Final discussion? Council, I would just say that I believe the Harbor Board came and suggested this amendment to the engineering contract so that they could include improvements to be made at the fuel dock and in that vicinity. Is that correct? I see members of the Harbor Board there. Okay. Any questions, Council? Any final comments? Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the amendment. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Okay, the amendment is approved. Thank you. Item number 7 is a resolution that Mayor Karin Wilson is hereby authorized to approve Amendment Number 1 to the contract for professional services for RFQ number PS008-17 on call for the Planning Department projects with SE Civil Engineering LLC at a cost of the amendment not to exceed $15,000. Mayor Wilson, can I get you to address that? Give a description of that, please.
Is this for, I think it's just reviewing the plans. I recommend, and I have it in the budget, to get a full-time in-house engineer that can be part of the process as we go, and especially in this moratorium. There needs to be, I think, somebody there all the time as part of the process to reduce liability.
Okay, so stopgap until a full-time engineer is hired?
I didn't put this on the agenda.
Who put this on the agenda?
Council President, that would be Jonathan Smith.
Jonathan Smith put it on here. Mayor, I assumed you put it on here.
No. I'm for
What are you, are you in favor of this?
I want to get an
Okay.
in-house engineer.
Who's Jonathan Smith?
I think the reason why this is because I believe Larry Smith's, the funds in that item were running low, and we still need to call on him from time to time, and I believe that's my assumption.
I think that's probably accurate.
Okay.
Council President, just to let you know, Larry Smith is our consulting engineer on a lot of the subdivision reviews that Jonathan was doing, and he is our consulting engineer specifically on the Old Battles Place project. He was our third-party review, and as that project goes on, we're going to need to have him handle things that come up as far as site conditions and things like that, and his original PO was installed, but he was out.
Is this $15,000 annually?
This is just a not to exceed. He would bill, I'm assuming, I don't see an hourly rate, he would bill hourly up to that amount. All right, Dan?
Council President, yes, we have a fee schedule in hand. The contract is approved and in effect. We are simply extending the money in the contract, amending the contract to add additional funding. This original funding has expired.
Okay, I would just, not to beat you up, but I would suggest in the future putting the fee schedule in here. We don't know if it's $500 an hour or $1,000 an hour. I'm sure it's not that, knowing Mr. Smith, but it's helpful to know. Any other questions for staff, council?
So is that annually, 15,000?
No, it's just a not to
It's
exceed.
just till he runs out of,
Until he runs out of 15, then we sign another one.
Do it
not to
correct.
exceed 15.
And this is just, he's called upon as needed. If we had an in-house engineer, then they would be a part of the process. Again, it's absolutely needed.
Yeah. I would also point out something that I saw in here, it's just something minor, and it would not affect my decision, is that there's an email that says the contract puts the amount at $30,000, which is over the $15,000 threshold for city council approval. The threshold, I believe, is actually $7,500 if it's not a budgeted item, and since we don't have for this professional service, am I incorrect there? Deborah, I see you shaking your head. If it's a non-budgeted item, I thought it was $7,500.
It's usually 15. That's
I thought that was for a budgeted amount.
7,500 would come to council, and 7,500 goes to a green sheet, mayor approved, 15 goes to council. If this was not a budgeted item, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, check that procedures for professional services. If it's not budgeted, the limit is $7,500, I'm pretty certain.
Well, we're bringing it anyway, so.
Sure, it makes it budgeted, I understand that, I agree with that. The reason I point that out is because if it was $14,000 and it was not budgeted, just make sure that it's brought before the council if it's not. Once it gets budgeted, it's not an issue. All right. Okay. Council, does somebody want to entertain a motion to extend this contract?
I make a motion we extend the contract.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any final discussion?
I'd like to see, an annual amount moved, just so we can track it. And I know the mayor wants it in-house, but that's for later discussion. But, if he gets involved heavily in a couple of projects, 2 months later, we're approving another 15,000, and 2 months later, we're approving another 15,000. So there's no way to track it.
Well, I think Deborah could probably pull a number and tell us how much we've spent with them, but there's no way to put an annual amount in there because we just don't know how often we'll have to call them, And we could put a cap in there, but then we'd be done. So you'd have to just kind of leave it open-ended like this, and I'm sure Deborah could pull a report and tell us exactly what we've spent.
But like I mentioned, we're only calling him when we want him to look at something. He's not looking at everything. And since we're in this moratorium and updating our, all of our regulations and things, we really do need that.
All right, any final comments? We have a motion and a second on the table. All those in favor of awarding the amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Please say no if you oppose it. Okay, resolution passes. Item number 8 is a resolution to award a bid for the lift station odor control chemicals for the sewer department with an annual cost of $224,475. Dan? Dan McCrory. I know that this is an annual expenditure, but being that it's $224,000, has the price per metered gallon changed at all?
It went down.
It went down.
It went down. We received 2 bids. One was this bid here, $224,000. The other one was a little over $300,000. This bidding process caused it to go down. I think it was 10 cents a gallon, I think is what it was. It went down. Or was it a nickel a gallon, Dan? I don't remember which it was. It was a nickel or 10 cents a gallon. Anyway, it was $6.15 a gallon is what the old bid was. It went down from there.
But the second bid, the non-winning bid, was less per gallon,
But you have to feed more.
and they have to, you have to use more of that.
Right,
So
you have
it's
to feed more.
diluted maybe or something.
Right. You had to feed more to get the same results as you were getting with the other, which inflated the cost of having to do that.
Okay. Any questions for Dan, council?
Sounds like a lot of money, but I wouldn't want to not have it.
If you don't have it, you'll know about it.
Yeah, I said, you'll either spend $200,000.
Actually, if you want to stop down the Gulf Shores down Canal Road, anytime you want.
Oh, yeah.
By their sports complex. You can see what happens when you don't have it.
Correct.
Okay.
And we were talking about social media earlier.
Yeah.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to award the bid.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor to award the bid, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. The bid is awarded. Thank you. Item number 9 is a resolution that the City of Fairhope votes to purchase 25,000 feet of 2-inch gas pipe for the gas department and authorizes procurement based on the option allowed by the Code of Alabama to obtain quotes. The total cost will be $16,494.75. Is Robert here? Okay. Dan, can you address that, Dan? Standard procedure, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it's basically standard procedure. We're estimating consumption hopefully through the end of the year, at least projecting it through, so we don't have to come back to you multiple times with additional read sheets and memos and requests to be on agendas and approvals. We're just trying to do it one time to carry forward as close as we can to the end of the fiscal year.
Not cast iron, is it?
No, sir.
Questions for Dan, council? If not, I'll entertain a motion to pass this resolution.
So moved. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Okay, resolution passes. Thank you, council. Item number 10 is a resolution that Mayor Karin Wilson is hereby authorized to execute extension number 1 of the contract with Galls LLC for the police department uniforms, bid number 019-16, for an additional 1 year as per the terms and conditions of the original contract. The approximate annual cost will be $13,000. I'll entertain a motion for this.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions for Dan? Ames, that is? Okay. Hearing no questions, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Item number 11 is a resolution to award an RFQ for resurfacing the Fairhope Public Library entrance walkway for the Fairhope Public Library with a total proposal of $16,261.50. Councilman Brown, can you address that?
Yeah, that's the slate pavers that are on the walkway from the sidewalk up to the covered area at the library and then underneath the covered area. As everyone I'm sure is aware, they've had some issues with the slate coming up from the concrete subsurface, cracking. So anyway, the proposal is to go in and remove all the slate, prep the slab, and then pour a finished top coat over the top of it, stain, and I don't know if they decided score or stamp some kind of decorative concrete that'll have a slip-resistant finish and be a lot more durable than what is there.
Okay. Just out of matter of curiosity, Dan Ames, do you know if it's going to be stamped or is it just going to be smooth finish?
It's going to be, our specifications call for a non-skid surface. They may room brush it or they may apply some finish to it, some dressing of the top coat, but it called for a non-skid surface on the top.
I do see a score concrete and a tile design on here. Okay. All right. Good. Any questions for Dan or Robert? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to award the RFQ.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to award the RFQ for resurfacing the library entrance walkway. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Okay, resolution passes. Item number 12 is a resolution to award a bid for sludge removal services for the wastewater treatment plant with a total bid proposal of $85 per cubic yard. Mr. Ames or Mr. McCrory, the gentleman asked how much sludge removal we have per year. That amount sounds familiar with what I have heard for years, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. They've held that price for us. We took out last year 1,081 dry metric tons of sludge out of the sewer treatment plant last year. The report we just released to EPA.
So $86,000, $87,000?
No, sir, it's more than that. You're going to be well over.
Oh, you said tons, not yards.
Tons,
okay.
1,081 dry metric tons, which equates somewhere probably close to $300,000 a year.
We ask this every time, and we're not able to they treat that and dry that? Are we able
That's
to
correct. The EPA has two classifications that are used. One is Class B, which if you look at the classification of that, is toxic. The next classification is A, and then there's Class AEQ, which is exceptional quality. This contractor, which is the best you can do under EPA standards, which is what we're doing, Class AEQ. This can be land applied. We currently haul it to, he actually hauls it himself to sod farms, other fields that it can be properly disposed of under EPA rules and guidelines. So we're doing the very best that is available with the current technology we have under EPA guidelines.
But we're paying to have it removed, and they haul it off, and then they probably sell it, right?
No, I think he's actually land
Giving it
applied.
away?
I think he's giving it away. Yeah,
So is that cheaper than us trying to do something else with it? Is no way to sell this?
We're actually, one of the phases of the treatment plant during this sewer study was done by CH2M Hill was to actually go into this ourselves. The capital out cost is pretty expensive up front. It's about $3.5 million or so up front to get started. But it's something we can certainly look into in the future.
Okay. Any questions for Dan? Okay. I'll entertain a motion for the sludge removal services.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second to award the bid for sludge removal. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, item number 13 is a resolution that the City Council approves the selection of Goodwin Mills Kaywood to perform professional architecture services and repairs to the library structure, and hereby authorizes Mayor Karin Wilson to negotiate a fee schedule and establish a not-to-exceed figure. Dan, will you come speak to that, please?
Yes, sir. And I have with me Jim Walker from GMC, Goodwin Mills Kaywood. He can also answer any questions that you may pose. Okay, what's the question?
What's the scope of work,
Scope of work is to...
generally speaking?
The scope of work for the engineer is to determine the scope of work for the project and come up with the bid specifications and scope. And then we will put that bid out to the contractors who are going to bid on the restoration work. The work itself so far is to repair the leakage that is coming into the library and has been coming into the library in an increasing fashion for the last, well, since, 2006, last 10 years. So that's the primary function, is to address that and any secondary issues that exist, such as possibly some stucco issues, other siding issues, the roof issues, and possibly window issues. And Jim, do you have anything you want to add to that? Go ahead.
There's really
Here, speak into this.
There's three components to our proposal. One's testing to find out where the leaks are occurring, kind of overall around the building, the envelope, and the roof. The second phase will be the design phase, so we'll take that envelope report, incorporate those recommendations into construction documents and specifications. And then the final phase is construction administration. We're a full-service architecture firm, so we'll help negotiate bidding, negotiation, and construction administration through the completion of the project. Yes.
Councilman Brown, and once again, I call on you. You've been heavily involved in this. Is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, I've been involved, and I've talked with Dan. What I would like to see in that proposal would be, kind of some alternates, if you will, for the cosmetic issues. Let's, certainly have to address the leaking and whatever structural issues have been caused by the leaks. But the stucco, if it's cosmetic stucco repair, try to get that in a separate bid, or anything else that's just cosmetic based, like the sidewalk, but we addressed it first to, for safety. So anyway, I just like that proposal done in that fashion.
Maybe want some value engineering there?
Well, I mean, we can certainly get in that once the bids are received.
The thing about it is, you want to make sure that the building's tight first before you go into any cosmetic repairs of the interior. So after the construction's complete, we'll go back and test those systems to make sure we're not having any further water infiltration issues. Then I guess the final phase would be looking at any interior aesthetic improvements.
Okay. Any other questions for these gentlemen? Any at all? Okay. If not, I'll entertain a motion to pass this resolution.
Make a motion?
Second.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second to approve the selection of GMC. Any final discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Resolution passes. Thank you, council. Item number 14 is a resolution that Mayor Karin Wilson is hereby authorized to execute the extension of the agreement concerning tolling of the statute of limitations between the Utilities Board of the City of Daphne and the City of Fairhope regarding jointly owned gas lines. I'll entertain a motion, pass this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Okay. Agreement is extended. Thank you. Item number 15 is a resolution that Mayor Karin Wilson is hereby authorized to execute a contract for professional IT services for the police department with Elias Technologies, also known as Cyber Forensics 360, with a cost not to exceed $35,000.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to authorize the mayor to execute the contract. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Okay. Contract's awarded. Item number 16 is a request to approve a new position of building inspector for the building department with a pay grade of 21 or 35,000 annually, depending on the qualifications. Eric, you want to make your case, or Mayor and Eric?
Yeah, so moved.
I'll make a case.
Backed up.
We need it.
Are y'all ready to move on then?
Yeah, we need it.
We have a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'll just simply say that the prior budget that was not approved from the prior mayor also had this at this pay grade in it. So it's not new to, shouldn't be new to anybody, because we had reviewed that quite a number of times.
Well, from the 5,000 phone calls I've received in the last 2 weeks, it is sorely needed.
Okay, well, good enough. Let's move on then. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? No, you don't need that. You don't need to say anything. Just stop while you're ahead. Okay. Hearing no final discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right. Position's approved. Item number 17 is an application for a restaurant liquor license by Fish River Grill by the Bay, located at 9270 Scenic Highway 98, Fairhope, Alabama. I will assume that everything is in order. The police giving us the thumbs up back there. That first reference, I don't know about that. Head of the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, if any of you would like to know who that is, Mr. Stabler. I'll entertain a motion to approve this application.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving this application, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, application is approved. Item number 18, Councilman Brown will refrain from speaking or voting on this item. Recuses himself. This is an application for a restaurant liquor license by Chive Talking Catering LLC, located at 556 South Section Street, Fairhope, Alabama, moving to 821 South Mobile Street, Fairhope, Alabama. I would just ask quickly, I guess, of the police that I know when a location is moved, you have to approve one in one location. And can you Can you approve it for both locations if we know they're moving, or do they have to come back before the council, is the only question I see. Pardon? Okay, all right, very good. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the application.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is this approving for the location at 556 South Section Street also?
Yes.
I will also have to think.
Okay.
No, they already have that. This is strictly, they're moving their location, and they have to get a new license.
Okay, the way it read, it looked like you were approving it for the current, and then they're going to move it.
That's why I asked.
So it's strictly for the new location then?
Yes.
Is that right? All right, thanks for clarification. You look kind of familiar. Anybody have any further questions?
Wait a second.
Me.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second. You got that, clerk?
Yes.
Okay, any final discussion?
Go ahead.
We're good? Okay. Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Lisa, that was 3 of us, with 2 abstain. Item number 19 is an application for a restaurant liquor license by Agnes Henry Hospitality, LLC, doing business as Fairhope Grill and Bar, located at 210 Eastern Shore Shopping Center, Fairhope, Alabama. Okay. I'm getting the thumbs up there. Any questions for the police? Signed off by the chief. I'll entertain a motion to approve this application.
So moved.
We have a motion. Did I hear a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of approving this application, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, the application is approved. Item 20 are appointments and reappointments to the Sister Cities Committee. And I have a little bit of clarification on this to have staggering terms. Clerk gave me this prior to the meeting. And that is, it's the same people, but I'm going to clarify. It says appoint Tenant McWilliams, Class 1, and Susan McWilliams, Class 3, and to reappoint Ed Lamont and Cindy Wilson, both Class 3, to the Sister Cities Committee. Class 1 terms expire in February 2020, and Class 3 terms will expire in February 2019. Instead of all ending in February 2020. That's just to keep the staggering of the makeup of the committee. Would somebody entertain a motion to appoint these and make reappointments per the way I read them?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay. Appointments are made. Public participation. If you have anything else to bring forth before the council, please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Dean Mosher. I live at 456 Oak Avenue in Fairhope. I've made several requests to come forward and give about a 7 or 8 minute PowerPoint presentation on some questions that I had based on the Airport Authority minutes and so on and so forth, and was told I couldn't have that time twice, and then I was told I couldn't have a PowerPoint. So I went ahead and made a YouTube video. And I completely agree with you, Robert, that you should not be accusatory and you should not do anything that you wouldn't tell somebody directly to their face, and I didn't. This is just to ask questions, and I think these are very valuable questions that need to be answered. I think we've had well over 1,000 hits in the last 20 hours on this, which surprised me. Anybody would want to listen to me for 11 minutes. But nonetheless, I'd like to give you all a copy of the questions and look forward to the answer. I think I'll hand them up. Pass those down. Thanks, sir. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mosher.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir.
Not related to that, something I forgot to mention earlier.
Yes, sir.
Mardi Gras this Saturday, the Downtown Fairhope Business Association will have their first ever Mardi Gras block party which will be on Fairhope Avenue between Section and Church. It'll be between 2 and 4, so it'll be right after the Mystic Mutts Parade. And it'll have face painting, a DJ, so if you're downtown having a good time, come check it out, bring your kids. Should be a great event. Sorry.
Thank you.
Francis Rip with a RIP report, 22985 High Ridge Road. First of all, I'd like to address a project you were listening to on the single tax and remind you that last week, or 2 weeks ago, you were talking about the Fly Creek Basin filling up. The reason it's filling up is because it got filled up at Publix, and you can dredge that all you want. And Mr. Moser pointed out that as a 68-foot drop on that site, that's almost 7 stories. Had a lot of people from the public show up that was at that meeting. Jimmy can tell you, I think that you should listen to the public. The initial damage in '94, I was a general contractor on that, project manager for the general contractor. That was $1 million worth of damage done to the apartments. And since then, they've been damaged twice before. The next thing is, I don't know why, but we elected, this whole election was because of the Fly Creek apartments. We've yet to see anybody bring up the repeal of the ordinance 1572. Now, if Mr. Burrell doesn't want to bring it up, from what I understand, 2 other people can bring it up, and it can be put on the agenda. We are looking forward to seeing that on the agenda and how each of you votes on that. The last thing is, I agree with what Robert said too, but you need to understand that the public figure doctrine and the legal definition reads like this. According to the public figure doctrine, this First Amendment, prominent public persons must prove actual malice on the part of the news media in order to prevail in a libel suit. Actual malice is the knowledge of falsely or recklessly disregard or whether a statement is true or false. A public figure doctrine makes it possible for the publishers to provide information on public issues to the debating public, undeterred by the threat of liability. Think about that. You got the airport authority now that's going to look into me and investigate me on something, and you're right, Robert, except for one thing. Social media is electing people, and social media is throwing people out of office. This last election we had was based on social media. I agree with you. You shouldn't read everything you believe everything you read. However, I printed my copy. I gave you all a copy, and I filed it with authorities. So this is not social media gibberish. This is getting it out when no one else is willing to address it. That's what this is about. These are extremely serious charges. You cannot read that complaint and dismiss every single issue that comes up in there. You cannot clean up your own house if you don't want to, but it's going to come back to bite you. You need to look at the allegations, you need to address them, and you need to tell the citizens of Fairhope exactly what's going on. And we want to see that repeal of that ordinance on the agenda before it's too late. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Anyone at all?
My name is Larry Williams. Live at 623 Middle Street, Fairhope. I noticed that we have a person that's doing a pretty good deed in Fairhope, feeding cats in my area. That's fine. But I don't think that that's solved the problem. The cats, number one, I imagine there must be about 50 cats that she feeds in the morning times. I understand that that's good. But cats, if they haven't been neutered and spaded also, that, hey, that number is going to double probably within the next year or so. So I would like for you all to take that into consideration and see what we can do about this problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Williams.
you.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing no one else, I'll close public participation. Council needs to go into executive session to discuss pending litigation. I'll read the letter from City Attorney Tuckman. It says, as City Attorney Marion E. Wynn, I hereby request the Fairhope City Council to go into executive session based on Section 36-25A-783 to discuss the legal ramifications of and legal options for pending litigation. City Attorney Wynn does hereby declare that the City Council of the City of Fairhope rise from a regular City Council meeting on Monday, February the 13th, 2017, to go into executive session. The City Council shall be in executive session for approximately, I'm going to say 30 minutes. 30 minutes. At the end of the executive session, the City Council shall return to the City Council chambers to resume the regular City Council meeting. The time is 6:52. We will now go into executive session. Seconds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Thank you. We're adjourned.